And moving to Bengaluru now, the National Green Tribunal will conduct a hearing on the state of Bellandur Lake today. For the last few days, meters of poisonous spurious froth has been disrupting the lives of residents in Bengaluru. The issue of Bellandur and Varthur lakes frothing is something that the state has been constantly dealing with. Authorities have assured action several times, but no change has been visible on ground.
We clearly understand just a day after the floods here in Bengaluru. Now this is the situation. If I may ask my camera person to pan, you can see how this entire Bellandur lake is frothing. In fact, this froth is almost spilling onto the stretch of this particular road, causing problem for both the pedestrians as well as the motorists. Remember, this is not the first time that we see Bellandur lake, which is spread across at least 900 acres, is frothing. Every time there is a spell of rain, we see frothing happening here in the city. Now, if I may ask the camera person to pan to my left, you have residents living in this particular vicinity. Also, they have been facing problems from very long time, despite several complaints to all the civic bodies. Clearly, we do understand so far nothing has clearly been done on ground. Now, remember that the National Green Tribunal had taken suo motu action against all the civic bodies for failing to in fact control the froth and to stop the industrial effluents flowing in this particular water body. Clearly, remember after February, where we saw a fire broke out on this particular surface of the lake, we had seen notices were being issued to all the civic bodies. In fact, the National Green Tribunal had wrapped the civic bodies, asking them to immediately act and immediately stop all the effluents flowing into this particular lake. Now, the particular problem that we are talking about here is the sewage flow into this very water body. At least about 480 MLD, million liters per day of sewage flows into this particular catchment area of Bellandur, of which at least 240 million liters per day is being in fact, it's being treated, is what we clearly understand, with STPs. But however, the other the point here to be spoken about is the effluents which have been flowing into this lake. According to Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, they have issued notices to all the industries to shut down, which is operating within the 5-kilometer radius of this very lake. According to Pollution Control Board, they did take action, but however, we clearly understand that this is the mammoth of froth every time there is a spell of rain in the city.
It's clearly visible to each and every one of us, you know. It rains, the froth is back, and the government authorities say that they're working on this, but where is the solution? You know, at least the formation of the foam should have reduced, but nothing is done.
I really want this to stop all the industry who are letting the effluent to come to the lake. Why they are waiting till 2020 to get the STP plants to get set up? Why there's so much of delay in getting STP?
We now spoke to Sridhar of the Nama Bengaluru Foundation on the NGT hearing scheduled for today. Sridhar is the petitioner against Bengaluru's civic body, and his organization has been consistently following the issue of the frothing lake.
The government has not had an action plan over the last 1 year to prevent any flooding and urban logging, and hence we moved the court yesterday. We mentioned in the court telling that there is a severe crisis that has happened due to inaction and negligence of the government and misplaced priorities. The NGT asked the lawyers present, telling do they have an explanation of what has happened and what they intend to do. They had no answers, and they have been asked to come and make a submission. KSPCB has to show to all of us today, telling how many industries they have shut, how many of those industries were found to be violating, how many of them were found to be compliant, and what is their analysis of the cause of froth. Why aren't the sewage treatment plants running up to capacity that are already installed by the state government? We have 14 sewage treatment plants that are there, and they are not running up optimum. So how do we expect that overnight miracles will happen?
Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, also spoke on the matter. Listen into what he had to say.
Government is taking all necessary actions.
Because it's a very long-standing issue, and now the NGT
it is there. It will be solved within 1 or 2 years.